Hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh my gosh, so many beautiful and familiar faces. Hello. It is so beautiful to be here with you and to be celebrating the floral queendom in the way that we will be. And of course, the Akasha element too, because we have some vanilla. I'll talk to vanilla, speak to vanilla as well if you want to. I am so happy that we have this technological space that we can land in together, because otherwise I wouldn't be seeing you as much as I am. So I would love to hear in the chat where in the world you're tuning in from. Looks like I've got most of the Aussies on here this time. We had around 120 people register for this event from all over the world. I think there's just such a beautiful place in our hearts for the floral queendom, right? And even though not everyone has these as their limited time offers, I think they still just speak to us. And for me, I just want to say to you, even if you don't have them physically in hand, you can still summon the spirit of that plant to you, and it will still touch you deeply. Of course, it's not the same as having them in hand and smelling them. But for those of you in UK, Europe, and US, Canada, if you don't have these in your hand right now, as soon as they become available, please make sure that you bring them into your life. And for everyone here in the Australia, New Zealand market right now, I invite you to get them on this month's order. You only have till the 15th to order them, just in case some of you are quite new to doTERRA. Sometimes we have a limited time where we can bring certain oils into our homes and into our lives. And indeed, for anyone here who doesn't already have a customer account with doTERRA, you can begin your journey with these three and just speak to the person who introduced you to doTERRA, who sent you along to watch this video, this recording maybe, or if you're here live. Be welcome, everyone. Please be welcome. It's beautiful to see all the different parts of this beautiful land upon which we live being filled with your bright lights. I am tuning in from down south, the great southwest of Western Australia, on our gorgeous land here. Okay, so today we have a dedication to Osmanthus, Chrysanthemum, Gardenia, right? They're the three in the Sacred Floral Kit. Are you awake? Is that right? Are they the three who has them in hand? And of course, vanilla, beautiful vanilla. And I'm also going to dedicate some space to yarrow, because we have yarrow palm as part of the specials, and I want to speak to yarrow anyway, because let's start with yarrow before we get into the other florals, because yarrow just blessed me so deeply recently, and helichrysum as well. I was outside with our daughter, just in our backyard, and I turned around to walk, and there was a bird feeder, a beautiful wrought iron bird feeder hanging in a place that isn't normally hanging. And I walked straight into it, and I'm quite short, right? And it just went straight into my nose. And I was a bit dazzled. I was like, well, what just happened? You know, it's like there wasn't anything there, and now there is. Now, right now, you can just see a faint, can you see just a really faint line? I only did this like last week, and it was a deep gash, like it split the top part of my nose, and there was a fair amount of blood pouring out. Monday, thanks Tony. Yes, it was Monday. So there was blood gushing out of it, and my daughter was like, "Mama, you're bleeding." So they raced in, her and Paul, and got the helichrysum, and we got helichrysum straight onto it, just the 5 ml helichrysum bottle. So another flower. She's also known as Immortelle, and her nickname is Magic Stitches. So what she also does is she helps the blood to stop coming out as prolifically. It did put a stop to that blood flow, and it neatly started coming back together. So then what I did after the helichrysum was we had a bag of broad beans, our own, that we had grown, frozen. And I just got Paul to grab that and put that on my face. And I went into a meditation for half an hour. It was 35 minutes, a beautiful healing meditation that I teach a lot of people who journey with me. And I went into that deep space of regeneration. And then my protocols began with continued helichrysm. I have helichrysm touch that I was also using around my eyes in this part here, because Paul was like, babe, you're going to go black and blue with that. So I was like, yeah, no, I'm not actually. So I put the helichrysm all along here, and some beautiful rose as well, because I mean, rose is great for trauma, so is helichrysm. It was a bit like the shock. And then I took my yarrow pom, you know, this one, the nutritive duo. So it's yarrow suspended in pomegranate seed oil. And I just took a small amount like that and just let that drop straight onto my nose. And then I just very gently dabbed it in, because, you know, it was quite a open gash, and I just let that dab in. And then I put it around my eyes in this area here, and then just lay back down. And then every day I was putting it on. I was working it, and now there's barely, like you were all leaning in to try and see it, there's barely any scar there, right? So, you know, what these essential oils do for us all is real. It's amazing. The energetics of yarrow, if you look at what, do all of you have our book, Gifts of the Essential Oils? Well, second edition is out now. Give me a wave if you have the second edition. She's landed already. And Tony has the cards too. If not, we'll when we send out the recording, I'm going to send you the links. You want these. There's over 120 new pages, cacao ceremony, crystals, everything. But anyway, we give each plant space and time with us. Like we just go quiet to sit with them when we write this book and we write the chapters, to channel the energy of the plants. And then what we've done in the companion cards that Tony was just showing you all, you can use them like an oracle, but you can also use them like flashcards, is we have placed for you the gorgeous gift of the plant. So yarrow says, my gift to you is justice. Listen to the three words that came through: restoration, divination, equilibrium. And the affirmation we have is, by the grace of God, I am restored. How amazing is this? You know, it's like restoration, right? And I'd been having this feeling, intuitive feeling, to cancel an in-person new moon ceremony I was running. And I really didn't want to. I didn't want to let all the people down that had done it, but I just had such a feeling I needed to cancel it. And I was oscillating and wasn't doing it. And then boom, this happened. So yes, it was like, okay, I need to cancel it now, because it's just, this is the sign. And everyone was fine. Everyone was gracious about it. And I look at this and I feel into the gifts of yarrow. You can see the transformation alone just in the essential oil. So these beautiful white flowers, a beautiful moon essential oil, a gorgeous one to align with moon work, moon magic. But do you remember the color? I showed you the color of her once she's extracted. This mighty blue, this royal, decadent, beautiful indigo blue, because a chemical constituent called chamazoline is released, and that's what gives her the blue. Same with other chamomiles like German chamomile and the tansies like blue tansy. So yarrow possesses the energy of yin and yang. It was used, and you'll see in our book, I think there's a chapter, there's a part in this chapter here, but anyway, this was used to create the sticks of the I Ching that the Chinese use, and it's that very yin and yang energy. So where I was almost, you know, I'm so yin mostly, I'm just so feminine, right? Just so in my feminine all the time. But I was just stepping into the yang of, I've got to do it. I've got to hold space. I've got to do the circle because people are booked in and I can't let them down. And And there's nothing wrong with that. It's beautiful for us to be thoughtful of people. But I was moving into the unhealthy aspect of that, like I'm obligated to. I have to do this, I have to show up. And then the gift came of the across my nose, right? And then the yarrow is just helping to bring me back, just that balance between the two. Does that make sense? So the yarrow is actually designed, and I invite you all to get this on your cart this month as well, anytime. Like this is a regular staple for me. It does last quite a few months, but I actually add this to my aromatic dressing bowls, and I'll put my fractionated coconut oil in, and then I'll do about a dropper of this. If my skin is playing up a little, it's particularly dry, or if I've got a bit sunburnt or something like that, I will put 2 drops in, like 2 droppers, yeah, of that. So then I add my essential oils. So I have the pomegranate seed oil as a carrier there, the gifts and the chemistry behind the yarrow, and then I'd put other flowers in there like geranium to balance my skin, and I'd layer with rose and put some actual rose in it, and layer with divana, that kind of stuff. Well, right now we have this incredible gift of the Floral Kingdom with us in the form of 3 touch oils. So a touch oil, for those that don't know, means it's already suspended in a carrier oil, fractionated coconut oil, jojoba oil, whatever it may be, but fractionated coconut oil most commonly with doTERRA touch oils. And it means that you can just place it directly on the skin safely. So you can pulse point it, which means you can place on your pulse points and have it like a pure fume. You can allow yourself to use it to align your chakras and placing it on those points. You can use it to create more spaciousness within yourself. Maybe you line it up and down your sternum to open your airways, your energetic airways to receive the gifts. So let's start with Chrysanthemum, because she's a beautiful one to do this with, right? She's bright yellow. Look at that. She has this radiant solar energy. Here we have lunar energy, and Gardenia, lunar energy, and osmanthus, lunar energy, but tiny yellow on the inside, so you can kind of bring in the balance of both. And the other special right now is the vanilla, the special gift for us, and that's like that dark of the moon time. But the chrysanthemum with this solar energy helps you to work with your solar plexus, for instance. Let's just look at some chakra energy. When you feel disempowered, when you feel weaker, when you feel more exhausted, when you feel like you're out of your creative flow, when you feel like you're out of your joy, when you feel like you're just not shining as brightly as you normally do, right? I have a candle here that I've put there, a beautiful beeswax candle. The chrysanthemum is the gift that she brings is shining brightly. My gift to you is shining brightly, being the radiant sun that you are, letting your inner sun out to bless the multitudes. So the 3 gifts, you can see the way we've done the cards, the circle with the 3 gifts, the affirmations in the middle, and we always place there the element that they're from. The Floral Kingdom of the water element. So any emotionality, any emotions, energy and motion that you want to clear, move, maybe they feel stagnant and you want to create, inject some flow into them. Maybe they've been suppressed and you want to shine a light on them and bring them to the surface again, to bring them into a healing space. The florals are beautiful for this. We talk about how beautiful the floral queendom is for the skin. The chemistry is gentle, soothing. It's great for things that appear on the skin, that bubble forth from emotions trapped within us. Self-loathing, anger, feeling like if I shine brightly, I'll be cut down, and so on and so forth, right? So you have the gift of chrysanthemum saying, I invite you to shine brightly. This is my gift. And the three words we have with this sacred, beautiful floral is radiance, glory, and frequency elevation. Let me speak to this a little because I think there's a little bit of confusion with this. Elevating your frequency, altering your frequency, choosing a new frequency is not the same as bypassing an experience. There's a lot of mental bypassing, physical bypassing, and spiritual bypassing of what actually is, what's present for you in that moment. So I'll just bypass it, I'll pretend it didn't happen, and then it hasn't, or it's not. And what happens is the more you bypass it, the more you start to feel the discordancy that creates within you and all around you. You start to see life being a mirror for that discordancy. Where there was harmony, there is now the beginnings of chaos. The beginnings of things falling away and falling apart. So the chrysanthemum says, when you elevate your frequency, do it from within you, from the light within you. Tap into your divine light to elevate your frequency, to create the metamorphosis that you are choosing to undergo, or to shift your frequency so that you are now inviting different people, circumstances, and events into your life. Does that make sense, my loves? Yeah. So you start to feel the song of your light emerging from the fire in your belly, from the flame in your heart. Chrysanthemum is a beautiful support when you feel drained. So let me share something with you. Chrysanthemum allows you to outshine any darkness or draining energy. Chrysanthemum encourages you to lift yourself to find higher vibrational company in this reality and other realms. So for those of you wanting to work with guides, spirit guides, the angelic realm, ascended masters, the energy of the divine in whatever way that appears for you, the Akashic Masters, within your Akashic records, this is a beautiful one to align with that beautiful solar energy. It's like if you imagine you're tapping into the light codes and the beautiful grid of the grand central sun, and anchoring your light to that light and then bringing that down to earth. So, that idea of bringing heaven to earth. There's no point just staying out there in meditation if you're not going to let yourself bring that light here to serve yourself and serve humanity, to be where it needs to be, for you to be where you need to be. Chrysanthemum brings greater awareness to whether the people in your inner circle are actually good for you and bringing out your best. And frankly, if you're bringing out their best as well, right? Because it goes both ways. He will guide you to make changes in your life, to attract people whom your frequency elevates when you're together. So what can happen is we can hang out with people because we've known them for so long. And I get this, I really do. And what happens is if their vibration is very low, and it's not a judgment, it's just an observation, it's just a witnessing of. If their vibration is very low, it's difficult for their vibration to rise to meet yours if they're not choosing in on that. Agreed? So what ends up happening is you kind of become a bit of a chameleon, you lose your form, your frequency drops to meet theirs, so that conversations and the situation between you guys becomes relatable again. And that's when you can, well, many things can happen, it seeps the joy out, but you can start to create energy leaks. So the light of chrysanthemum comes in to guide you within to that inner sanctum, the altar of your heart, to really look at yourself and say, Who am I really? And can I hold my form no matter what's happening out there? Can I hold my form? I hold my form and shine brightly anyway. Right? So chrysanthemum's a beautiful one to anoint on your solar plexus. A beautiful one to anoint over your heart space when you feel like you want to let the light from the altar of your heart to shine outwards. You know, you want to tap into and connect with the altar of your heart. Yeah. So there's some comments in there saying I've been struggling with this with old friends. Yeah, it can be a struggle to release, to let go. But it's also something you can surrender to the universe. You can, around time of, the waning moon and into the new moon, when you're releasing, to allow fertile ground to be there for the intentions of the new moon to be planted. It's a time where you can just put out there to say, I'm consciously releasing any relationships that don't serve the higher good of all concerned, them and me and all around us. And I release these with love. I release these unconditionally. See, that's the difference. So chrysanthemum can really bring you into a space of feeling differently again, of welcoming your whole self to shine radiantly. Gardenia, such a beautiful, beautiful essential oil for moon magic. The affirmation with Gardenia is I open myself to wisdom and love. You see how open the center is, these luscious, beautiful petals. And you'll see here the beautiful circle with the main words, which are compassion, peace, and teachings. My gift to you, says Gardenia, is sweetness. So when you're wanting to bring the sweetness back, you turn to Gardenia. And we're talking about solar, and we're talking about lunar. Remember when you behold the light of the full moon, the only reason you can see her is because the sun is feeding her his light. So there's this energy of the unity between sun and moon there. So the Gardenia reminds you to have compassion. It's the energy of the awakened one, knowing what is before you, knowing what's there, and having compassion anyway. And that compassion needs to begin with self, because we berate ourselves so deeply. So Gardenia is also about peace and teachings and moving through life with tranquility. However, there's this aspect of the velvet sledgehammer with Gardenia. It's like, okay, so this is the world around you. This is the world around you. I want you to look at who is in your life and what is in your life. And will you be bold enough to cast away what doesn't serve? You see how these florals are really so deeply guiding you to stand in your truth and to magnetize to you what actually serves and who actually serves you in your sphere. So yes, you can use Gardenia with that beautiful, gentle, her gentle chemical constituents move you out of chaos and, the roughness of life into tranquility. But can you also allow yourself to drop in and feel what needs to move across? Because when you need that gentle but firm nudge, or what my father always said, to be the unreasonable friend for someone, I love you enough to be your unreasonable friend. That's the energy of Gardenia, that velvet sledgehammer. Okay, it's not going to feel comfortable what I'm about to say to you or where I want to lead you, guide you, but I love you enough to take you there because I see the light in you and you are so dimmed down right now. Can you just open and expand? Because there is so much peace down the path of being who you are. Gardenia also facilitates spaces for forgiveness, softness, for moving through grief, around loss of someone and the anger that's brought up. And I don't just mean with deaths, relationships that someone you love has left you, walked out on you, just stopped talking to you, or where you need to break away from a relationship, as we're saying, and the grief sets in, or anger sets in, and you just need to tap into forgiveness of self and of them. Because we're all playing our parts in this life. We all have a reason for being here. And frankly, it's no one's business what I'm doing here or what you're doing here. You just need to be who you were born to be. So Gardenia helps you to, move through those phases with deeper peace. As I said, she's a great one to work with the full moon energy. Also summer solstice, you can bring her, and you can work with the chrysanthemum with that solar energy there also. What else do I want to say about that? Let me see. So if you want to tap into the playfulness that Gardenia can bring, there was this real playful energy with Gardenia. And I think someone said there, a few of you said you grow Gardenia in the garden. Gardenia and roses have always been your favorite. There's this playfulness about her, that the scent of Gardenia, it's beautiful. There's this subtlety, but there's this sweetness, and that's that energy of the compassion, the peace that we're feeling. And there's a couple of things you can allow space for, and one is more fun in your life, more joy in your life. And you can tee the gardenia up with wild orange and lang ylang and some green mandarin for that. More laughter, maybe some litzia. Now, the litzia, has the potential to overtake something as subtle as gardenia. So the way you could do this is create a pulse point blend for yourself. Decanter some of your gardenia into another roller bottle with a toothpick amount of litzia and some of the other oils I mentioned, maybe some lang ylang and green mandarin and or wild orange, bergamot to amplify radiance, right? And then what you can do is you can just anchor all of that with something like either vetiver or a ginger or turmeric. Ginger or turmeric really bring in that golden ray of abundance. So if you're wanting an abundance of joy and playfulness in your life, they're a good one to hold the blend and also to bring those energetics in. Are there any questions so far? How's this feeling for you? Okay. So remember what a great job doTERRA is doing with, sharing more about these oils. I'm just coming in with the energetics and the spiritual aspects here, okay? Just some really simple, beautiful anointing points. So if you are wanting to work with something like Gardenia, I want you to ask the question while you're holding her and say, I am feeling a need to move past some anger and to come into a place of forgiveness, and feeling where the forgiveness could aid you. Where is the anger or the holding of unforgiveness living in your body? And then you take the gardenia and you anoint yourself over that place. It's not always the heart. Sometimes you need it behind the neck or up and down the spine, or as I said earlier, the sternum. You're holding it in and you can't breathe for the emotion and hanging on, right? So anoint yourself with the gardenia where you need, and of course use her often and much, just like I said with the chrysanthemum, as a pulse point to replace nasty perfumes, which I know none of you use, but where you would anoint yourself to smell sweetly. Because remember, the floral kingdom also opens up us to deeper love and loving, and there's aphrodisiacal qualities that dance through the floral queendom and kingdom, because some feel more male and female, but that is rare in the world of us. And the aphrodisiacal qualities they bring about is they take it away from being just about your physical contact or the genital sneeze, shall we say, and into a place of deep opening and loving. And as we work through healing and recharging our batteries and increasing our frequencies, we open ourselves to connecting with the thing that we need most and the desires that sit most deeply in our hearts. I don't know what they are for you. I don't know what you value, but I do know that most humans love to hang out together. Most humans love love. They love to love and they love to be loved. So let Gardenia come in and open you to that deeper love. Joyous, beautiful love. And speaking of joy, let me introduce you to this sweet, beautiful angel, Osmanthus. I release attachment to outcome and embrace unexpected surprises. The three words we have attributed to her that we felt with her are comfort, balance, newness. And my gift to you, she says, my gift to you is new joys. How can I dip into the void, the unexpected, the realm of infinite possibility, of infinite outcome? Those outcomes are there for us to open ourselves to receive. It's that allowance of grace flowing through us. It's the moment where you allow yourself to feel whole again. Yeah. So Osmanthus, as you can see, she's beautiful. She has that, almost starry look of jasmine, waxen, beautiful, beautiful petals. You can use her as an anchor for love. You can use her as an anchor to balance with. She's actually in the balance blend, right? She's in quite a few blends. Beautiful blend as well that doTERRA's made. She's a beautiful balancing floral queen within a blend. She has this mid-range song that comes in and she sings it consistently through a blend. She's very, very beautiful to play with, to anoint yourself with. So she's an evergreen shrub, and you'll see this in our book, from native to parts of Asia. And when you work with her, you can tap into working with your sacred heart energy. So this is like your heart of heart space. When you go in, I mentioned earlier the altar of your heart. When you go into the chamber of your heart, the heart chakras, you have a heart chakra here, you have a heart chakra up here, also known as the higher heart or thymus chakra, and you enter that space and you bow at the altar before you, and it is the altar of your divinity, of yourself. It's time for you to remember that you are the most divine, sublime, magnificent being on the planet, every one of you. No one more or less than any other. And the florals take us so deep into this space of remembrance. Osmanthus is one that will offer emotional solace and bring deep peace, soothing and nurturing you during tumultuous times. I feel like, with something like Osmanthus, it's like, for me, she has this sweetness to her, and I feel like it's the energy of the Great Mother, Mama Gaia coming in and just, whispering her love into me, and those whispers cocoon me, they just kind of wrap me in silken threads. These florals are subtle. They're not hit you in the face florals. They have this subtlety that reminds each of us at this point in our lives of the value of simplicity, of the value of less is more, and of the value of go gently, go slowly. Be as compassionate and gentle with yourself as you would with one you love. Yeah. You can also use Osmanthus to attract new love, new beginnings. So a great one when you're planting intentions around the new moon time. of new love. Yeah. I feel like sometimes, we forget in the maelstrom and chaos of everything that's going on in life, how much we value love. And I'm here to tell you, love is the foundation of everything. Love is what makes us who we are, and is why we all keep choosing to come back again and again and again in these human incarnations, because the experience of love is so unique to humanity. So, so, so unique. So, I wanted to just point out that the full moon in Libra on the 16th of this month, that's the one that's all about new relationships, this full moon. So, if you want to amplify your practice and your devotion to love, you can anchor something like osmanthus with this. In fact, working with the three of them, the gardenia, the chrysanthemum, the osmanthus, and, maybe some rose in there, imagine layering those just over you. And I'll explain layering in a minute. And making an aromatic dressing, in dedication to this with some vanilla infused in it. A blend which you'll see, for those that follow me on Insta, that I'll share for this particular full moon is bergamot, turmeric, and ylang ylang. But I think, adding some vanilla to that would be amazing if you're calling in new love and sensual experience in that love, and heighten maybe in your existing love, because new love can be in your existing relationships, right? With your existing husband, wife, partner, whatever it is. So if you want to kind of add more of that sensual, sexual, playful, yummy energy, vanilla would be a beautiful match in there. And of course, as I said earlier, that radiant energy of the bergamot and the turmeric, and then the aphrodisiac qualities of the ylang ylang with the vanilla is perfect. So that's just something there for the next full moon for you. I want to share this beautiful blend with vanilla. So in our book, we have an anchor of love in there with osmanthus, Buddhawood, spikenard, and vanilla. If you don't have Buddhawood, use sandalwood in there, Hawaiian sandalwood or the Indian sandalwood, whichever one you have. And have a listen to this. This blend opens your heart in joy and gratitude. It helps you to be guided by the forces of love and to remember to maintain a high vibratory state during times of transformation and manifestation. The full moon amplifies all of our intentions. Full moon is an amplifying agent. So that's why you find more weeds growing in the garden. That's where, you'll find more of your veggies and herbs. It's like they're injected with steroids, right? At that time, the full moon is an amplifier. She's a nourisher. Osmanthus and vanilla connect you with uplifting feminine yin energy, enhancing the spirit of joyous creation. Buddhawood and spikenard or sandalwood will do the same, offer you a grounding masculine yang energy, allowing you to anchor this delightful present moment. This is an ideal blend diffused or used for aromatic dressing when you hear the call to return to love. Isn't that beautiful? So that's there in our book. And if you have the first edition, we had osmanthus in there anyway, as one of the master blends. Yeah? How are you feeling? Any questions so far? What are you like in anticipation to receive? Is there one of those four that you just feel like, or one of the, three rollers? Maybe most of you have had yarrow, but osmanthus, gardenia, chrysanthemum, are any of them in particular floating your boat? Gardenia for Leonie, yeah. What is the name of your book? Oh, yeah, okay. My book, which I co-authored with my amazing soul brother, Adam Barrelay, is called Gifts of the Essential Oils. If you like, when we send out the recording of this, we'll send you a link so you can purchase them. We do have distributors all over the world, but they're still winging their way to different parts of the world. But they're here in Australia. Okay, what else? We have Gardenia. Yep, you're in love. Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is, Gardenia really just opens people to that sweetness, but she's also reminding you to tune into the codes of wisdom and of love within you and around you to receive those beautiful light codes, and the activation of that spirit. Chrysanthemum's amazing, you guys. I mean, chrysanthemum's next level as well. I highly recommend, if you can, you get the kit with the 3 of them. And while you can, you get that vanilla. The vanilla is normally, so you either do a solvent extraction or a CO2 extraction of vanilla. And the reason is because, so let me go back a step. There's so many thousands of beautiful orchid flowers, and over 250,000 or something like that, and only one produces the vanilla bean. And when you open the bean, you slice it, you just delicately slice it, and you open it up, and there's all these tiny, 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 tiny little seeds, and they're in this velvety, gooey bed of their own juiciness that protects the seeds. And if you were to just try and distill them into essential oil, the way we would something like a citrus, you'd end up with this goopy, gooey mess, right? So this vanilla is, you can have vanilla absolute, like we have jasmine absolutes, but then you can also have this CO2 extraction, and you can suspend it then in the fractionated coconut oil, so then you can put on your body and you can anoint yourself with it. Now, it's in a 5 ml bottle and smells absolutely heavenly. And take it down low and then bring it up high, high, high under your nose, and just feel where you feel that energetic imprint of the vanilla touching you and blessing you. So have a listen to this. When gods and goddesses still walk the earth, Zanat, daughter of the Mexican fertility goddess, and a young Teutonic mortal man, fell deeply in love. Due to her divine nature, their relationship was forbidden and culminated in their deaths together, often very tragic deaths with these myths, right? When their blood was spilt on the earth, it was transformed into the vanilla orchid that would continue to express love, pleasure, and happiness to the couple and shared with the world forevermore. So my gift to you is pleasure, says vanilla. And the 3 words are allure, celebration, and succulence. And the affirmation is a fun one. I am alluring, sexy, and utterly magnificent. So the question is it just topical and aromatic for vanilla? It's up to you. I know a lot of people are using it, in their food. You follow the label, follow what it says, and that's all I can say about that. All right, darlings, stay safe. Stay safe in all of this. If it just says use for topical use, then use for topical use. I mean, if you can use it topically, you can use it aromatically as well. When we're registering things with the Therapeutic Goods Administration, we need to choose a category or 2 sometimes, and it's very difficult to do all 3. So, vanilla. Vanilla delves deep into the sacral chakra, the energy center governing reproduction. When you think about the reproductive system, it has 2 key functions. One is creativity and creation, and the second is pleasure, right? So vanilla is ideal when you're wanting to raise that sexual energy, raise that frequency of creativity. You can use it anointed on your sacral chakra. You can use it held in your hand, taking a deep breath to work with the sacral chakra. Any sexual healing that needs to happen, you can work with the vanilla deeply. Any sexual trauma, any traumatic flashes that are coming up, you can take the vanilla, because the vanilla, I mean, you just look at it, look how dark the presence of the vanilla bean is. And when you open it, the seeds, now the seeds are from Akasha, so it takes you into the spirit realm, and the infinite realm of possibility is a great one to meditate with. When you're going into anything around trauma, for instance, vanilla, juniper berry, black pepper are beautiful allies, because juniper's working with the fear and black pepper's helping you to uncover the truth of who you are, and they become these potent allies. Now, even though it says my gift to you is pleasure, and I've just spoken about all this beautiful sexual and sensual energy and joyous energy, expansive energy, when you are contracted, you can take vanilla with you as well. Vanilla does very well with contracted energy to help breathe expansion and life back into those areas. Another one that's very soothing and calming to the emotions, to the spirit. So a good tranquilizing one if you need it for sleep even, right? You'll see these dual functions of these essential oils. You'll feel them as they weave in. If you want to go into meditation with this beautiful essential oil, if you want to get galactic and connect with, star beams and your star seed, try working with the vanilla and the jasmine and some black spruce, or just vanilla and jasmine. And speaking of vanilla and jasmine, those two are amazing for your sacral chakra as well. And again, working with your libido, with any sexual trauma, any programming around sensuality or sexuality and the tabooness around them. And just coming back to the libido piece, for those that are perimenopausal or changing and cycling, or maybe you've had hysterectomies, maybe you're out of a relationship, maybe you're choosing celibacy, it doesn't matter, whatever you're choosing, and maybe you've just been out of touch with that area, you can still call on vanilla to deepen your connection with your sensory realm. Sensuality is a deepening of connection with our senses as well, heightening our senses. To be sensual is to connect deeply with the self, with loving touch, just like, yeah, feeling that in my heart right now, and just anointing yourself with maybe some vanilla and osmanthus. Feeling yourself enter into that creation energy, expansive creation energy. Vanilla and yarrow. Yarrow will come in beautifully to open and expand that space. We've got a blend here actually with vanilla, arbor-vitae, myrrh, yarrow, and ylang-ylang. That for creation dance, we've called it. It says, get your creative juices flowing with this melody of ancient wisdom of myrrh, arbor-vitae, and yarrow, and the youthful exuberance of ylang-ylang and vanilla. Flow where the energy takes you as you create from the fires that burn within you. It's one of our master blends. I'm just going to take a sip of water. Creating spaciousness for pleasure and joy in your life is really important. So working with these beautiful florals and vanilla to bring more of that joy in is a service to yourself. There's a question here saying, so when a recipe calls for yarrow, is yarrow pom okay to substitute? Leonie, it is yarrow pom. So yarrow is the flower, and the pom is the pomegranate seed oil in which it's suspended. So we just wrote in our book yarrow because obviously I'm a clinical aromatherapist. I've got lots of my aromatherapy friends that love this book and use it. And we can just buy yarrow as is. It's not always suspended in pomegranate. That's a very signature gift from doTERRA actually. So I know you're clear, so that's great. But let me tell you a little bit about this. And it's actually different to the capsules, the gels. They're vego gels. They're vegetarian. They're not gelatinous. bovine gelatin. They're not. They're veggie ones, and you can get those from your USA cart. But this here, and those capsules aren't just this in a capsule. Those capsules has other herbs. It's like a tonic, if you imagine, for your hormones and for your skin and for your whole being. This nutritive duo of yarrow in pomegranate seed oil is designed so that you can just, put it on your skin. You see how blue that is? Around your eyes, your face. I actually mix it in the doTERRA, beautiful doTERRA moisturizers. So I alternate. It's good to alternate with your skin. I alternate with the Barrage moisturizer and also with the hydrating cream that doTERRA does. And I'll put pomegranate, the yarrow pomegranate in there, a drop of that, and a drop of blue tansy. And then I layer with helichrysum and rose around my eyes, So the nutritive duo is also designed to just be able to go under the tongue. Or you can put on your tongue, you can put on your fingers and swipe the thin membranes on your inner mouth. If you have pain in your gums, take some on your finger and line it, place your finger inside your mouth and line it along the gums internally for yourself. For children, do it outside, for teething or anything, because yarrow has natural analgesic properties. So it's a great one in your aromatic dressing, if during your cycle or your children's cycle, your young teens, during the cycle, if you just want to, massage that over the belly, and then you can layer with the Claricalm, which of course has the Vitex in it, which is working with regulating the cycle and working with all the things of that, but I digress. So the yarrow palm is so versatile. So, for me this month, I think it's just obvious. Get in your cart the trio, the vanilla, and if you can, the yarrow palm. Well, there's 10% off, right? And if you have points, use points on other things if you need. And, when you have doTERRA present to you these 20% off. Thanks, Leonie. Did I say 10? Thanks, darling heart. 20% off the yarrow. So when you have doTERRA present to you these LTOs, we call them limited time offers, you want to get them as soon as you can. I had my note, I always say, buy them and then learn about them later, because they're going to be good. If doTERRA's released them, they're going to be good. And what's amazing is they release everything for such perfect timing for whatever it is we're going through in the times. These florals are bringing deep peace, deep compassion. They take you into a place of deep meditation, of connection with your heart, of your inner sanctum. It's all the things we need right now. And yes, and I can see in the comments someone said, I think you said yarrow palm is like beauty in a pill or something like that. Yeah, I mean, these essential oils, the florals, are phenomenal for your beauty regime. But you know what? No matter how much you do for the external to youthen and beautify and become more radiant externally, if you're ugly on the inside with suppressed emotions and violent thoughts, no matter what you do on the outside, nothing's going to change. And what's so beautiful is because we're working with pure essential oils and absolutes and CO2 extracts, because we're working with pure plant medicine and pristine carrier oils, and our chemistry and their chemistry are aligning in this very beautiful harmonic convergence. You're working with not just the external beauty, but the internal, to bring the beauty back. It's aligning you with your divinity and the codes of your divinity within. The florals are amazing, and vanilla too, for reminding us to just enrich our lives with ritual and ceremony. Like, let yourselves know where the moon is, which phase she's in, especially if you're a woman. You know, your whole body aligns with her. We're made mostly of water, and the moon's constantly tugging at the waters of us, of our emotionality, of our inner world, of our spirit world. Create something special. It doesn't have to be much. It can be something as simple as this candle. Let me give you an example. I dedicate the flame of this candle to the flame within you, to the flame within me, to the flame within all of humanity, that we may all raise our vibration to love ourselves, and to love one another more deeply, more compassionately, more tenderly. And if it's a full moon, you can say something like, by the light of this full moon, may this devotion be amplified. Or by the dark of this new moon, may that which lies in the shadow be healed, be met, be embraced, and be loved again. And may that which lies in the shadow that doesn't serve any longer be released, so that I can shine more radiantly. So you see, it doesn't take much. And then you just choose an essential oil to anoint yourself with, or a blend that you've made. Let me speak to layering for a moment. When you aromatically dress, for example, you have a bowl and your chosen carrier oil. This is beautiful. It works really beautifully with the sebum of the skin, as does the yarrow pom. This is a great injection of natural collagen, right? So you add those maybe to this, and then maybe you're going to add some tulsi and some black spruce and some green mandarin. That's a really yummy blend, by the way. And you aromatically dress, so after your shower or bath, you get that all over your body, and you're telling your body why you love it so much, why you honor it so much, why you're so grateful for all the parts of your body. You start from the bottom of your legs, and you work your way up in big circular motions toward your heart, and then you stop at your heart, and maybe you tap into what you're grateful for. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you that radiates your light so brightly that you inspire others to do the same. And that you are here with me and with each other to remind each other of the phenomenal community we have here. And then maybe you just rub what's left on your hands and you take 3 deep breaths. And you put your prayers out to the world, and then you maybe want to put some on the soles of your feet and the bottom of your hair and zhuzh your hair with it, right? Then you can layer. So you take, maybe you want to take, let me move this out of the way. Maybe we look at the gifts, okay? So Gardenia says, my gift to you is sweetness. And you just hold the gardenia and you say, where would you like to bless me with more sweetness? And she says, the back of your heart chakra right here. So you take her and you put her on your hands and you anoint and you hold it there. Hold it there between your shoulder blades and you breathe in love. My gift to you is sweetness. I invite sweetness into all parts of me via the chakra, right here at the back, right here along my spine. And may you bless all of me. And then you take the osmanthus and you say, okay, my gift to you is new joys. Where can I anoint myself with this energy of these new joys? And the osmanthus says, your heart. Bring me to your heart. And you anoint your heart. And you hold it to your heart after you anoint. And you breathe in new joys. I open myself to new joys. Or you might want to read the affirmation which says, I release attachment to outcome and embrace unexpected surprises. Because then that's coming from the divine, right? And then the last one is maybe you pick up your chrysanthemum and you say, where can I anoint you that I may shine more brightly and invite others to shine ever more brightly? And the chrysanthemum says, your solar plexus, your heart, and your crown. So you do solar plexus, heart, and crown. And you hold them there and you take 3 deep breaths and you hold your hand to your solar plexus or heart and your crown. And you take 3 deep breaths and you imagine your light touching the multitudes. And so you anoint and you can layer them as a perfume. So you take one and you layer and you let that go in and breathe it in. And once it's absorbed, you take the next one and you layer and you breathe it in. And then once that's absorbed, you take the next one and you layer and you breathe them in. And then to just get really juicy and really yummy, you then take your vanilla and you just anoint a little bit on your wrist over that, and you just take a deep breath and you receive them into all parts of you, and you step back into your queendom. You own all of you, and you feel yourself as the queen that you were born to be, or the empress, or the galactic, amazing, starlit, moonbeamed, incredible being. Doesn't matter, whatever it is that you feel in your bones that you are, in your cells that you are, and let the beautiful flowers reconfigure all of that. Yeah. So I've missed some comments, I'm so sorry. So Emma says, from what you've said, I can see how perfectly aligned the timing for the florals are. Do you know when they'll come to Europe? I don't, but we're usually pretty on track, so hopefully soon, Em. And Jen has said, such soul beauty, much gratitude, Vanessa. Oh, so it's my pleasure, honey. Sending love to all those present. Yes, Robin, absolutely, my love. Superb and so timely for this era, right, honey? Are those florals safe for pregnancy? I cannot see, I can't think off the top of my head with any of the chemistry that would interfere with pregnancy, but please research it first. Don't take my word for it. I'm so far away from pregnancy. I didn't even think to look at that, my mistake. And I don't work with them enough to know it off the top of my head. Jasmine definitely isn't. If I've mentioned Jasmine tonight, Jasmine not. Jasmine's ready for when you're ready to birth. Yeah, so please look that up. It's very important to look up contraindications. So Gardenia, osmanthus, and chrysanthemum for anointing and loving on yourself. All right, are there any questions at all? Wendy, I believe Gardenia is an issue for pregnancy. Please research though. Thanks, Wendy. Yeah. Sorry, just because I'm an aromatherapist doesn't mean I remember all the things. You know, it's really tricky, the pregnancy piece, I've got to tell you, because, you know, there's not that much out there. And if there's one case that could align with or be attributed to a particular essential oil or constituents of essential oil that has triggered a pregnancy, that goes down and that's recorded. And then people say, stay away from that in pregnancy. And we forget how resilient our babies actually are. Like, how many people have you heard say, I think there's something about soft cheeses we shouldn't eat, and I don't know, I was vegan at the time, but there's something about soft cheeses and is it cold meats or seafood or something you shouldn't eat? But how many women are in their first trimester and they don't know that they're with child and they're eating the things that they've always eaten, and then they go, oops, I was eating that, oh, I better stop, but she's fine and baby's fine and healthy, you know? So I'm saying that because it's a tricky one. For some people, they're going to respond in a way that someone else wouldn't. Someone else would be fine. Yeah. So that's all I'll say on the pregnancy piece. That was amazing, Vanessa. Thank you for sharing. Oh, such a pleasure. Such a pleasure, Judith. Menke, which one of these works best with courage and fear of stepping into new paths in career? Okay. Goddess Menke, what do you think I'm going to say to that? Unmute. What do you think I'm going to say to that?
I've got to smell them and befriend them and then choose myself. Thank you. Thank
and
you.
the reason is because what fuels Menke with a sense of courage and what fuels me with a sense of courage may be very different. So
Yeah.
look at them and we look at the radiance, just even visually, I might just go, I'm going to give this one a go first. I love the sunlight. I love how older and more courageous with this. But for someone else, it could be that, the openness of the gardenia or something. You know what I mean? So you have to smell them. You want to bring their energetic signature to you and feel. And it could be a couple of them that you're layering. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Yellow is the color of courage. That's right, Judith. But you know what? It might be the gardenia or the vanilla that brings it. You see? So I have a gift I want to land in here for you. My screen's going to go for a second. Give me 1 second because I'm not the best with technology. So give me a second and I'm going to find it. Here it is. Okay, tell me if this works. Oops. Have you got me again? Sorry, I disappeared. Okay, let's see if this works, my loves. Oh my gosh. Oh, it didn't work. Hang on. Wait. I wish I could sing. I'd be like doing a little song for you right now. All right. Second time's a charm. Can you see the link in there? Okay. I have had so many people saying to me, how can I be with you more? How can I stay in touch with you? How can I gather around with you and your ceremonies and your rituals more? And obviously the new moon, beautiful ceremonies that I do are at home, and you can't all just come to my home, right? For starters, we can only have 10 or so people there, but for seconders, we're all over the world. So I've finally done it. I have created, and I bring to you right now, a very simple, very beautiful membership portal. And she is called Frequency. She's a place where we get to raise our frequency. I'm actually feeling super emotional because this is the first time I've launched her. She's active now. I spoke to some of the gorgeous goddesses working with me just last week about her, but she's up and open and ready. And what I'm so excited about is we are going to gather around as close to the full moon as we can every lunar cycle. And when we're before the full moon, I'm going to give you sacred yumminess to prepare for the full moon and the blessings that she's bringing. And my intention with this is not to fill you with all this information and, you know, you're learning and no. We're sitting in a place, queen to queen, together by the incredible fire of our hearts. And we gather around that campfire. And sitting upon it is this cauldron of wisdom from which we all sip. The frequency is a place to elevate our frequency with incredible beings that are walking the path to living their truth, to holding their form, to expanding into the truth of who they are. Further to this, I've been able to do this so that I have 3 sacred offering and sacred investment options for you. So you get to choose your own adventure with the investment that you place for this each month. She's highly affordable. We're taking her into a yummy portal space that we've just played in for Inner Sanctum, for those that are with me in Inner Sanctum. And we can converse. We're opening it up so it becomes like a community hub in there. Any resources go in there and all the recordings are landed in there. So if you can't watch live for whatever reason, we have the recordings there. And then the second thing to that, with the timing that we meet, is that we meet alternatingly, just depends when it is, time of the full moon, either Fridays or Sundays, Australian time. And I've got sometimes where it's morning time where we're meeting and sometimes where it's evening time, so that my beautiful, gorgeous, amazing sisters in the UK and Europe can join the evening times, which is their morning. And then when it's my morning time, the USA and Canada souls can join us live then. But from experience, they end up waking up, all of them, in the middle of the night and joining live anyway, because they love the transmission that comes live. There will be essential oil magic, of course. There will be so much ceremony, simple, beautiful practices to bring into your life. It's literally just a space that we can gather, like as if we were having a sister circle each month. And I will give you my all in these moments. I will open myself to channeling. I always open the space in the Akashic records, so we're sitting in that space of pure unconditional love. And I'll let myself bring whatever codes want to come through at the time so that you are all blessed. In addition to that, for those of you that are joining in the frequency, we are giving you for free Haven of Bliss. Did anyone here do Haven of Bliss with me? It was a beautiful 4-week offering. So you're getting that again now. They don't even have access to it. Those that did it, you now will have access to it. And it's lifetime access to the recordings and to Haven of Bliss for as long as you stay in the membership. Yeah. You will also get other quirks and perks. So some of the quirks will be me just doing quirky things like adding extra things for you. Pre-recorded stuff in there, just, Nessie magic, beyond time space stuff. And then some of the perks will be you'll have, as a member, discounts to some of my other offerings out there. Yeah. And yeah, you'll hear about them, and if you resonate them, you'll come play. So the link is there. Jump in, jump on, read about her, and join me in the frequency. My invitation to you is to let your life be enriched by more ceremony and more ritual and more love of self. There's a question there. What is the difference in pricing? If you jump on, you'll see it, but you can choose, I think I've got it for, you can choose $44 a month, $66 a month, or $88 a month. All magical numbers. Yep. So jump in and take a look at her. I love you all so much. Are there any questions on the florals or frequency or anything? Is anyone excited about bringing these florals into their lives right now? Who's going to go and do an order right now? Yeah, beautiful. And frequency, I would love to see you there. Do we have any excitement around a portal? Yeah, good. Yeah, it's been a delight being with you. Let's close out with a blessing. Let's close out together. Just take a breath and breathe into your radiant light. Feel the light of the divine wrapping around you. Imagine us standing in circle together, hand in hand, mano a mano. Imagine the smiles upon your faces and the light emanating from your heart and the heart of every person in this circle. And the light meets at the center of the circle, and it creates a beautiful cylinder of golden light, this beautiful golden beam. And that beam of light travels upwards into the heart of the universe and downwards into the heart of Great Mother, Mama Gaia. And you hear, feel, or sense the most beautiful celestial tones and the cadence of the deep melodic earthy tones. They create vibration within you and around you. And the circle begins to vibrate, the frequency lifting. And you breathe these sounds into your heart and into your cells, into your blood, into your bones, into your organs, into all of you. And that radiant beam of light in the center dissolves and spills into each and every one of you. And may this light of the divine bless you. May it bless me. And may it bless all of humanity. Thank you so much for being here tonight in the space with these incredible gifts from Mama Gaia, these sacred, holy, divine spirits that enter our lives and bless us so deeply. I look forward to when next we meet, when next we gather. And I will be sure to send you the links for our book and cards as I promised at the beginning of this in the email that we send out to you, and I'll place the link for frequency in there as well. Yeah, and you can read more about her. I'm going to switch off the recording now, but I'll stay on for any of you that have any questions while the recording's off. Thank you. Thank you so much. I feel so deeply blessed and enriched by being in this sacred space with you.